Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well and you're staying healthy. For what we're going to do now, and this might be a little longer video, you need your textbook. So if you don't have that in front of you, just pause the video and go get your book. And we're going to start by looking at page 121. Okay, on 121, you see the start of Unit 8. This video is only going to cover the first half of Unit 8. There are a few things that I want to go over with you and explain in the book. The first thing I want you to look at is the title of the unit, Epic Engineering. Okay, you all know engineering, and many of you may have heard the term epic as an exclamation, like, oh, that's epic, that's great. And that's, excuse me, that's the same meaning here. If something is epic, it's very, very, very important and good. And in a way, it's saying there's nothing else like it. It's not like unique where there really is nothing else like it, but it's top, top, top. Okay, so what I want to talk to you about now is something we've done a little bit of, but this is a good reading for it. And what we're going to talk about is pre-reading, things that you do before you actually read the text that make the text easier to understand. So if you take a look at page 122 and 123, you see a very large picture and you see the title of the reading. So the first thing is to look at the title. Some titles tell us more than others. This is a very clear, easy title, China's Grand Canal. So a canal is a body of water that is made by people. It's not natural. So it might look like a river, but it was actually made by humans. And you know the word grand means big, you know where China is, so you have a sense that this reading is going to talk about China's Grand Canal. Now, if you look at the caption, and the caption is right here, the caption, it's always important to read the captions of pictures. So after reading the title, looking at all the pictures and reading their captions before you do the reading can really help. So this caption says, the Grand Canal, shown here passing through the city of Jining, is a large waterway that first connected North and South China over 1,400 years ago. It is still in use today. So you get a sense of how big it is, how old it is, and that it's still being used today. So that's an important introduction to the Grand Canal. Okay, the next part, if we continue on with the pictures and the graphics, you see a picture on page 124, and the caption says, Chinese opera performers prepare for a festival in Macau, China. Now that's interesting because at this point we don't know how that connects to the Grand Canal, but it's a question we have then to think about as we're reading. And then page 125 is really important. You see a map. So you might want to look at a larger map of China after the video's over, but you can see just from this map how long the canal is. And I won't do it here, but before you actually read the article, read the caption. It's a very long caption that starts on the top of the map and goes then continues down at the bottom of the map, looking at different parts of the map. And then the final picture is on page 126, and the caption says, for almost 4 decades, the path from Beijing to Jining has been too dry for shipping. Today, the Grand Canal's main route runs 523 kilometers from Jining to Hangzhou. Here, what you're getting is, oh, there's been a change, right? Something has changed in the canal, and that's something to look for. Okay, so we looked at the title, we looked at the pictures. The other part of pre-reading that can be very helpful, and it's very, very fast, it doesn't take much time, is to look at the subheadings or subtitles. So if you go back to page 123, you see the first is construction begins, and this tells you that this is going back and looking at the history, right, when it started. Excuse me. I know you're used to me drinking coffee in class. The next subheading on page 124 is a nation's lifeline. And lifeline is an example of a compound word where we take two words and put them together. There's a page on that in this chapter, but it's really easy. You don't really need to do it. So lifeline is looking at something that makes our life continue. Here it's talking about the life of a country. And then if we continue to the last subheading or subtitle or heading, is on 126, the modern canal. So that shows us, we're moving up through time to now. So modern meaning these days. So there's our pre-reading. And again, this took no time at all. I can see the time on the video. It took 5 minutes about. So it will take less time if you're doing it alone. So it gives you a sense of what to think about and what to look for before you read. Okay, now I want to go over a couple other things. And for now, I want you to go to page 127, okay? Right back. Okay, on page 127, you have questions that you're familiar with, the kinds of questions in numbers 1 through 4. I want to go over the words that are highlighted in yellow on numbers 5, 6, and 7, okay? I don't remember how much of this we did before, so it might be a review. But in number 5, the word says paraphrase. And paraphrase means we're saying something with the same meaning using different words. Now, you're going to see this later on in your last little quiz on this unit. And it's a very common thing in college quizzes and homework assignments and tests, where an instructor will say something and say, is this true or false? But they're not using the exact words from whatever you read. They're putting it in different words to see if you understood it. And so here, paraphrase is saying, which of these has the same meaning as the original sentence, even though the words are different? And again, you'll get practice with that at the very end of this part of Unit 8. Now, just to review inference, we've talked about inference. When you talk about inference, you're saying the actual information isn't there, but you're looking at the facts, you're looking at what you do know, and you're making a conclusion, all right? So, for example, I have this scarf on today. You might make an inference that it's a little cold in my house right now. You don't know that, but you can conclude that. Now, the last one, number 7, honestly, I don't care too much about. I don't really like, I don't think it does much, but try it. And I want to tell you what it means. Cohesion. Cohesion means things sticking together, holding together like glue, all right? So the sentence says, and you can't answer it yet because you haven't read it. Number 7 says, the following sentence would best be placed at the end of which paragraph? And then they give you a sentence. And then they're saying, where does this fit? Right? So you really have to understand paragraph 1, paragraph 4, paragraph 5, paragraph 7 to know where is the best place for this sentence, which gives an example. All right, so try it. It's not easy, but give it a try. Okay, so let me review what you're going to do. It's also listed in the D2L page. So you're obviously watching this video. You're doing that already. You're going to read pages 123 to 126. You're going to do pages 127 and 129. Just do them in your books or on a piece of paper. And then you're going to enter those answers into the quiz. And this will just count as homework. Then the part that's going to count as a quiz, you'll see in this module where you got this video. And I want you to read about a different canal. This is a canal in Venice, Italy. And then what I'm going to do is give you, I think 5 sentences. and you're going to write whether those sentences are true or false. In many ways, this is similar to number 5, the paraphrase, but it's a little harder because you have to first find where that information is. Then you have to read it very carefully and then decide if each item is true or false. And again, this is a really good skill because teachers do this a lot in all kinds of classes. So the reason they do it is because they really want to know if you understood it. And if you understood something, you can identify that same information even if the words are different. Okay? So that's the first part of Unit 8 for this week. There will then be the second part, which I'll make another video for. Okay, I'm thinking of you all. I miss you all. I hope everybody's doing well. Okay, bye.